Get a load of this. This is unbelievable. There is a European Union prospective regulation awaiting approval from the European Parliament and Council dubbed residual vehicle. And while that sounds innocuous, what it actually means is that cars older than 15 years old that go wrong or get damaged will not be allowed to be repaired. What? Am I kidding? No, I'm not. Keep watching.
A brown car guy.
Europe, the cradle of automotive innovation and home to some of the most iconic marques, seems to be on a quest to eradicate older cars off the road completely. And when I say older cars, we're talking 15 years old. And if you think that does sound old, let me put it another way, a 2009 car. Now that really doesn't sound very old, does it? The European Union are drafting up a scheme that could very well be the opening salvo in a war against older vehicles and, of course, the ongoing war on motorists. Under the guise of greener pastures, the EU Commission is floating a proposal that could see cars branded as residual once they hit a certain age, or if they should suffer major failures with engines and transmissions, the very components that make those cars alive. I mean, I don't know about you, but if, like me, you believe that cars got soul, then this absolutely horrifies me. This is about potentially condemning cars over 15 years old to the scrap heap if they're deemed a little too costly to mend. That's right, your car, even if it has plenty of miles left in their stories, could be denied a second chance at life on the road because faceless Eurocrats have decided it's not worth mending. I say your, and if you're watching this in other countries, you're thinking, well, it won't affect me, it's Europe. But don't forget, initiatives and policies like this tend to spread, and spread quite quickly. Let's talk about the Fit for 55 initiative, the EU's roadmap to a zero-emission future. It's an ambitious plan aiming to cut down transport emissions by 55% come 2030. A noble cause, and note, this compares to 1990 levels. But wait a minute, your cars have already got much cleaner in this time. Can I just interject at this point that, and this data is from the UK government website, nitrogen oxides from road transport tailpipes has already dropped from 850,000 tons to 200,000 tons since 1990. That's a 76% reduction. So the targets have already been met? No, because particulate emissions, which represent actually 61% of emissions from vehicles, and which mostly come from the tires, brakes, and the tarmac, they've gone up. Tire and brake wear is up by 35% and road abrasion by 34%. The roads are down to the government, but as for the tire and brake wear, that's because cars have got bigger and heavier. So older, i.e. smaller and lighter cars are actually better for the environment and air pollution as well, surely. And don't forget, there's the impending 2035 ban on the sale of new internal combustion engine cars here in the UK as well as, of course, in Europe. This theoretically forces everyone to go electric, and by their nature, they are, of course, heavier cars. The fact that Europe is doing this is quite crazy. If you've ever driven in Europe, you see tons of old cars on the road, and it's better for it. The average age of cars in countries like Spain pushes past 14 years, with 47% of cars actually being older than 15 years. And even in Autobahn-loving Germany, the fleet average age is about 10 years. This proposal could spell an end to the era of nurturing and cherishing older vehicles. And I think that's a mistake, because as I keep saying, as do many others, the best cars for the environment are older cars that are making the best use of the carbon footprint that producing a vehicle incurs. Instead, it seems the solution being touted is to make yet more cars, bigger, heavier, more resource intensive, adding even more greatly to our automotive carbon footprint. And then there's a sentimental part of all this. We are killing cars that tell stories, cars that have character, cars that, dare we say, are on the cusp of becoming the next generation of classics. And that's another thing. If we kill off slightly older cars, we won't have any future classics. And what happens to the classic car industry then? What happens to the art of restoration? The joy of bringing back a mechanical masterpiece back to its former glory? And let's not forget the craftsmen, the magicians in the garages and workshops across the world who breathe life back into machines that many otherwise would have written off. Their livelihoods are at stake too, with this looming cloud of uncertainty over what constitutes a repair that is repaired too far or a cost too high. Are we to be denied the chance to pass down these metal marvels to the next generation of car enthusiasts? That would be a shame. This European Union proposal is an automotive nightmare. And let me just add in closing, people thinking that this doesn't affect them, think this through. The plan is to kill off older vehicles. Therefore, in order to have the freedom to own your own car, you have to buy a new one. But with such high demand, they'll become scarce and hence very expensive, essentially pricing most people off the roads, and not to mention the potential damage to the environment of rushing to build brand new cars, pretty much all electric, to replace the ones that we've prematurely killed off. I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments below.
In London streets, where politics and power collide, The ULEZ Files by Brown Car Guy is a thrilling new novel depicting a high-stakes battle for the roads. Join Max Turner, a motoring journalist, as he uncovers a plot to control car ownership and personal liberties. With agent Eleanor Rodriguez and tech genius Flux Jackson, they race against time through London's iconic streets. It's a narrative that questions the balance between environmental policies and individual rights. For fans of cars, action, and political intrigue, the ULEZ Files promises high-speed chases, tactical ingenuity, and a fight for justice. Available now, exclusively on Amazon.com. The ULEZ Files by Brown Car Guy. Get your copy today.
Brown Car Guy.
Hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please hit the like button and share this video as well if you can. And while you're at it, check out these guys who also sponsor my content. I am deeply grateful to them because it helps me to buy new equipment, put fuel in the cars, and yes, buy a cup of coffee. You can do the same. Just go here or right here on YouTube. Just hit these three little dots down here and click on thanks. Make sure you're signed in first. My content is free, but this is how you can help me keep it that way. I may even send you a gift. Oh, by the way, watch this next.